A.J. Brown reunited with his former team during the Eagles' joint practice with the Patriots. Brown spoke with ESPN's Sal Paolantonio about the trade that happened a couple months ago, being back with the coach that drafted him, and what it's like to be around his former teammates once again.
You wanted to come here to be reunited with Mike. Why?
Just because of the way he pushes me, and the belief system. That's something that you can't really describe, but you know that I have the support of them.
Still got love for Philly?
Always. I will always have love for Philly, regardless of if I'm liked or hated. It's love. We won a Super Bowl together. I'll never forget that. I love my fellow teammates. I still talk to them. It's love. And
Talk to Jalen?
not him, but a lot of guys. But I'm sure we'll probably catch up at some time this week.
Might have that opportunity over the course of the next couple of days ahead of their preseason game. Adam Schefter joining us now here on First Take. What do you make of what you heard from A.J. Brown?
Well, first of all, a great job by Sal to ask the obvious question there that some people might not have had the courage to ask in a tough spot like that. Have you spoken to Jalen? No, we have not, but hopefully they can catch up this week. And hopefully they can. Hopefully they can clear the air and address whatever issues have come up between those two individuals. But A.J. Brown sounds happy to be in New England. He's going to make a huge difference for that Patriots offense. And, of course, the Eagles have to find a way to replace him. There are some issues there. He obviously documented them there. But A.J. Brown is an unbelievable player, and that's going to be a big-time addition for the Patriots this season.
4 words by Sal Paolantonio as a follow-up that it's going to carry a ton of weight this year. You talked to Jalen, ? That's going to play into, is Jalen Hurts an MVP candidate, which I have said he is. That's going to play into whether or not A.J. Brown can accept the idea of winning football games without a number of targets that he is looking for. Did you talk to Jalen? That one soundbite right there gives us confirmation around the last year when Adam Schefter told us a million times that things were not perfect in Philadelphia and that they were not on the same page, and Adam was reporting it. That not that we needed additional confirmation, but Adam is one source in essence, and he just told you he's the other source, A.J. Brown. I mean, he's confirming everything reported.
That was the surprising thing, right? Like, everybody suspected it, everybody thought it, but he just said, yeah.
That was confirmation.
It was affirmation of everything that everybody speculated on.
And so when we retroactively look back at last year's Eagles team, there's no debate as to whether or not things went wrong. They went wrong. There's also the confirmation it went wrong. And it's also a question around the head coach, who I've been extremely supportive of. I think his record speaks for itself in Sirianni. But the job of a head coach, I would assume, is to step in and find a way when two important parties like that are not on the same page to at least have a working relationship that is productive. And I think they actually did something interesting. I think they overcompensated. If you look back at the peak of when they were beefing last year, Jalen started throwing him the ball more. And I thought he forced it to him at times to say, hey, look, we're okay. Well, you're not okay. We know you're not okay. And I'm a huge Jalen Hurts guy, but it wasn't okay. AJ confirmed that.
And it's evident that A.J. Brown didn't want to be there. But let's talk about the guy in question here, Jalen Hurts. Like, if Jalen Hurts wanted him there, he could have made sure that A.J. Brown stayed. How do you view Jalen in all of this, knowing that we haven't heard from him and his side yet?
Sometimes the divorce has to happen. And I think Jalen Hurts is in favor of that. I think if he had made the plea and said, listen, you got to keep this guy in town, I think the Eagles would say, fine, let's make a way for it to happen. But last year, every time we talked about A.J. Brown, it was about distractions. It was about things that were happening away from the field, where him and Saquon Barkley bonding with A.J. Brown when they figuring out why he was upset or disgruntled. It felt like that became the thing. And I don't know if that hurt the production, but the team wasn't as good. And when you're struggling and you're having to deal with this other storyline, that doesn't help you as a franchise. I think if you're Jalen Hurts, you feel like addition by subtraction. Even though you lose a big target, you also lose a bigger distraction.
Well, look, A.J. Brown wanted to be traded. He wanted to be traded last season. He wanted to be traded in the offseason. He finally got his wish. Even if Jalen Hurts wanted to stay, I don't know that it would have happened because that's not what he wanted. It's not what A.J. Brown wanted. Everybody wanted to chart their own path and go their own direction. Everybody got what they wanted, and now we get to see how it works out.
All right, so as we move forward here, let's drill down on this Eagles offense. They did get some good news with Devontae Smith returning to practice, Adam, earlier this week from the hamstring injury. I know that Mekhi
Lemons back today.
Lemon back today. What's the latest? Like, what are you hearing about the pieces in this offense and the health as it stands right now.
Courtney, we are Thursday, August 20th. The regular season is coming up here quick. And that is why Devontae Smith is now back at practice, and that is why they are bringing Mekhi Lemon back today. Obviously, they feel like they're healthy enough, but it's time to start ramping up. You're starting to see teams sign veteran players. You see Vita Vea's contract get done in Tampa. You're seeing moves made because players now know that it's time to get ready. It's go time. It's go time for the regular season. And if they're going to be ready for the opener and be out there for as long as they want to be, they got to be out there now. So Devontae Smith is back this week. Mekhi Lemon will make his way back today. And let's see what the Eagles can do with these guys in the final weeks as they get ready for their opener.
A lot of changes that have been going on, Evan, with this offense throughout training camp. We've heard about a lot of the positives for Jalen Hurts. He's under center more. He's going to factor into this run game with Sean Mannion now calling the plays. As it pertains to what we're talking about right here, the comments that A.J. Brown made, and not talking to Jalen Hurts, but the Jalen Hurts of it all, do you think he's better off without A.J. Brown? And is the Eagles' offense better off as a whole?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. We live in this era. Adam Schefter is a lifelong New York Knicks fan, and he just saw his team win a championship. And what do the Knicks tell you about why they won a championship? What do they start with? The power of friendship. We laugh at that as a sports concept. Why should that matter? If you have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen weren't always best friends. They won 6 titles. Shaq and Kobe, right? Brady and Belichick weren't always best of friends. But we live in a different world now. And the power of friendship thing, as cheesy as that sounds, we saw teams succeed like the New York Knicks in that era, in that regard. I think, how about the other way on what the rivals could do? If you hate the person sitting across from you, if you hate the person working with you, because that's what AJ basically told Sal yesterday. And so I now look at it and say, what did that do to the X's and O's of everything? How did they overcompensate? So yeah, to answer your question, Jalen Hurts is better now without AJ Brown because his rival is not sitting next to him in meetings every day.
I think Jalen Hurts has to be better without A.J. Brown. You lose a 1,200-yard receiver. That obviously puts you in a different position. I think he's going to carry more of the offensive burden on his shoulders. I think it's an opportunity for Devontae Smith to become more of a scoring target, right? This is a guy who needs to get into the end zone more often this season. Mekhi Lemon, you mentioned, can he have a breakout year as a young player in this league? But it's on Jalen Hurts. Like, if this is a situation where you go, okay, we had issues last year with A.J. Brown, now he's gone, you've got something to prove, I think, if you're Jalen Hurts. And I do think it's a better opportunity for him to show that he can be an MVP caliber player in this league.
You talk about the power of friendship. That's a fancy way of just getting away from basic team chemistry.
Yeah.
Which is what we've always talked about.
Right.
It's the chemistry. Can these guys get along well? How much does chemistry matter in a team winning? I like that. The power of friendship, though. That's nice.
Well,
I'll be your friend, too.
Well, that's why we're working well together. But let's look at the Russell Wilson Seahawks, okay? Russell Wilson, who I'm a huge fan of on Wisconsin, but Russell Wilson was great until there seemed to be stuff that was just not going right in Seattle. Then all of a sudden this guy comes in and Sam Darnold a couple of years later, Geno in between, and it just, everything fits. Everything fits together. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts no longer fit together. They're not going to get a receiver better than him. But I don't think you have to have a receiver better than him. You have to have better fits all across the board. Myron, you're shaking your head, which I understand. Yeah. This guy, Jalen Hurts, was a Super Bowl MVP. Why can he not bring the level of others up?
No, he has to. I'm shaking my head because friendship is always easier when you're winning, right? Everybody's friends in victory. Like, I don't know that we having a lot of these conversations when they won the Super Bowl, but I think it became more of a toxic situation when A.J. Brown was worried about his targets, complaining. Now, can you get away from that and prove who you are as Jalen Hurts?
And the level of chemistry is always directly proportionate to the amount of winning that a team does. The more a team wins, the better the chemistry it is.
But not with AJ.
Friends everywhere.
Complaining right after winning a Super Bowl. He put it out there that, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not sure that the level of satisfaction is what I anticipated after winning a Super Bowl. And that's why, if you're the Patriots, there's another part of this. Are you concerned that you could throw to all of the other targets, which they have great wide receiver depth, not the best top 2, not the best top 3, but the best top 5 or 6 maybe? Are they going to be okay? Is he going to be okay, Court? If A.J. Brown is double and triple teamed every play and they win 17-13, which Mike Vrabel will probably walk out of that stadium with a smile.
Yeah.
Is A.J. okay with that? I don't know the answer to that. We're going to have to see, but it's a fair question to ask based on what we've seen now in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the answer I would have to that is you have to get him his targets in order to keep him happy. But if he's winning, is it going to be enough? Just like you pointed out, the comments that he made after the Super Bowl about the high of it. He likes the journey more than the destination. A lot of athletes do. The last thing I would have on this is, do you think that the Eagles have done enough? Do they have enough pieces? Adam just mentioned that Devontae Smith's coming back to practice. Mekhi Lemon will be back. Do they have enough pieces to make up for that A.J. Brown loss?
I do, and it's going to mean that guys have to step up. I mean, we're not talking a lot about the defense. We're saying a lot about what they are offensively, but defensively, they're going to be really strong. We know what they have on that defensive line. Jordan Smith stepping up. I think he's going to have another advanced year compared to what he had last year. And if you combine that with an improved Jalen Hurts, I think there's a chance that this team does take that step forward, again, without whatever was happening in the locker room that may have been a challenge for them.
Yeah, Eagles and Patriots, that